Good afternoon, Facebook followers. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for our first ever Facebook Live interview with newly arrived Ambassador Sung Kim. Thank you, Ambassador, for being with us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for arranging this, Molly. I'm looking forward to meeting with our Facebook followers.
Yes, as you're aware, we received questions from the Facebook followers. Everyone is dying to know you. Everyone wants to learn about your likes, your experiences, your history. And so they submitted a number of questions. We picked the ones we're going to be able to have time to answer. But before we get into the questions, I want to ask the question that's on everyone's mind. How did your meeting with President Duterte go?
Well, thanks, Molly. It was terrific. The president was kind enough to give me a lot of time, and we were able to cover a whole range of issues, important issues regarding the U.S. Philippines partnership. I think it was a terrific start. I'm very much looking forward to working with President Duterte and his team to strengthen our very special partnership.
Great. It sounds exciting. An hour. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question we have is from Vincent Angeles Raval. And his question is, how did you get your start working for the State Department?
Thanks very much, Vincent. You may know that I was working as a prosecutor before I joined the State Department. But then when I found out about the possibility of joining the State Department or the diplomatic corps, I jumped at the opportunity. I had been interested in foreign affairs, foreign relations. I was attracted to the idea of representing the United States overseas. It's tremendously rewarding and special to do so. So I took the examination and was fortunate enough to pass. So I decided to try. But I should note that I was actually enjoying my work as a prosecutor. So it wasn't that I was dissatisfied with my work. And in fact, I thought that I might actually go back to the prosecutor's office. But, almost 30 years later, I obviously have no regrets about having stayed in diplomacy.
Wonderful. The next question is from El Tiburon. And he writes, as an American citizen who has visited the Philippines, what can I expect from bilateral relations under Ambassador Kim?
Well, thanks for the reverence for that question. I've said many times that U.S.-Philippines relationship is one of America's most enduring, one of our most special relationships. I'm deeply committed to doing everything possible to make sure to strengthen all of the important aspects of this relationship. And there are many different dimensions to the relationship. Of course, we have our rock-solid alliance, very strong economic engagement, law enforcement cooperation, etc. And my hope and my plan and my commitment is to make sure to strengthen and deepen all aspects of our relationship. So I think you can expect the relationship will continue to grow.
The next question is from Jinjin Benlot Yap. Have you tried any Filipino dishes? If yes, what is your favorite? If not, please try Cebuano food.
Thank you for the suggestion. I've only been here 5, 6 days, but I did get a chance to try Filipino food once, and I loved it. I had chicken adobo and this very colorful dessert, halo halo, which I'm looking forward to trying again soon.
I love halo halo as well. The next question comes from Boy Santos. And Boy states, I saw you attended a basketball game. What is your favorite NBA team? Mine is the Golden State Warriors.
First of all, let me say I enjoyed the basketball game immensely. It was one of the games between La Salle and Ateneo, which I understand is a very strong rivalry. I grew up in Los Angeles, so I've always had a soft spot for Los Angeles Lakers, and I saw them during their heyday, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, etc. But I have to say, I understand why you're a fan of the Warriors. They're pretty impressive.
Next question comes from Maria de la Cruz. Which U.S. tourist destination would you recommend Filipinos visit when they go to the United States?
As I'm sure 4 million Filipino Americans have discovered, there's so many amazing sites throughout the United States. I'm, of course, partial to California, having spent so much time there. I think San Francisco is one of the most beautiful, one of the most romantic cities anywhere. And of course, my hometown, Los Angeles, has quite a few interesting sites as well. Hollywood, Disneyland, so many, many possibilities. I should point out that it's also the 100th anniversary of our national parks. And as you know, there are many beautiful national parks throughout the country. So plan a long vacation is what I suggest to you.
The next question comes from Panaligan. Have you learned any Tagalog words or expressions since your arrival?
Well, as I said, it's been only a few days, so I haven't had a chance to learn very much. But I use mabuhay all the time, and miramang salamat quite often as well. But I'm actually going to arrange for a tutor so that every day I can learn some Tagalog. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm sure that your Twitter followers would love to see how your Tagalog is progressing.
Okay, well,
That
give me
would
a few
be-
weeks.
Okay, the next question comes from Nicolo Amosco Buena Machiavelli. How can diplomatic relations between the Philippines and the United States be strengthened under a Trump administration? Thank you and welcome to Manila, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome. Um, I say that U.S.-Philippines relationship is one of our most enduring because it's a relationship that has enjoyed very strong support and strong commitment throughout the past 7 years of our alliance. Through Democratic administrations, Republican administrations. I think there's wide recognition in Washington that this is an important relationship that serves mutual interests. And so I expect that in the new administration, we'll see similar type of strong commitment to this relationship.
The next question comes from Patrick John Tabar. Do you like baseball? If not, what is your favorite sport and why?
Okay, I like baseball. It's probably not my favorite sport. Basketball I find very exciting, and I know it's very popular here. In terms of playing, I might like playing tennis. I think it's a good way to get a lot of exercise. I'm also looking forward to picking up golf here because I know that this is a great place to learn golf.
Sounds exciting. This question comes from Roy Mabasa. What is your impression of the Philippines and its people?
Ah, I can't say enough nice things about the Philippines and particularly the Filipino people. They've been incredibly gracious in welcoming me. Um, and I think this reflects the deep bond between the peoples of two countries. There's a very close friendship. I mean, 4 million Filipino Americans living in the U.S., over 250,000 Americans residing in the Philippines. So my impressions, my 5 days here, my impressions are very, very positive. I'm very excited to be here.
Excellent. Next question from Adam. What has been your favorite moment as a diplomat?
That's a great question.
Spanning 30 years?
Yeah, I've been incredibly fortunate. I've had very many exciting assignments, both abroad and in Washington. Obviously for me, to go back to Korea as the first Korean American U.S. ambassador to Korea was very special. But I have to confess, I'm super excited about being here. I mentioned that I had visited Philippines many years ago and was quite struck by the energy and the beauty of the Philippines, and I've wanted to come back. Now it's taken me 25 years, but I'm back and I'm thrilled to be back here.
Nice. This question from Bruce Nightingale actually goes back to a question you just started to answer. Mr. Ambassador, do you golf? And if so, what's your handicap?
I used to golf very badly many years ago. I haven't played in over a decade, so I probably should not reveal my very high handicap, but I'm looking forward to picking it up here.
This question is from Pearly de Dios. What do you look forward to most in your tenure here in the Philippines?
Obviously, I want to strengthen our relationship in many important aspects. But personally, I'm very much looking forward to getting to know the culture, this rich culture of the Philippines, getting to know as many Filipino friends as possible, and traveling to different parts of the country. In fact, just next week, I'll be having a trip to Davao City. I'm very much looking forward to that.
You're traveling already and you've just been here 5 days.
Yeah, I thought maybe the best way to deal with jet lag is to go on another trip. But I'm really looking forward to exploring, discovering many different beautiful places in the Philippines.
Very exciting. This question is from Ramon. Who was the biggest influence in your life?
That's another great question. I think professionally, I've been blessed to have had, terrific mentors who have really guided me throughout my career. But I think probably the biggest influence for me was my father. I mean, he also was a public servant, and I think from him I learned the importance of the value of public service. Unfortunately, he passed away way too early, but I know that he would be deeply proud if he saw me now.
The next question is from Bea Bautista. Where did you go to college and what did you study?
I went to the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, and I actually majored in philosophy. Now, you may be surprised because I think many diplomats studied foreign policy or international relations, political science, but I loved philosophy. I enjoyed it immensely, and have no regrets about having studied it. And then after college, I did become a bit more practical and went on to law school.
This question comes from Princess. She says, I read an article that compares you to George Clooney. I have to say I agree. Have you heard this before? And are you single?
Well, it's very kind of you to say that. Secretary Kerry, when officiating my swearing-in ceremony, he was teasing me in his remarks. He joked about this, but I wished I looked like George Clooney. I think he's obviously very attractive, but very talented actor. Um, So I'm flattered and embarrassed to be compared in any way to someone like him. I am married and I have 2 daughters.
I'll let Princess know. Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank
Great.
you so much, Ambassador Kim, for your time, for answering questions from our Facebook followers. I know that they have learned a lot from you, as have I, from our short interview. And we look forward to having you back for another live Facebook interview at a later date.
Terrific. I look forward to it. Thanks,
Thank you
Molly.
so much.
Thanks, everyone.